How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to Diego's Aviation. Today I'm conducting my first model review, and as you may have seen in one of my previous videos, I did an entire review of my whole collection of airplanes. Now today is going to be our first single model review. This is going to be on my Gemini200 Copa Airlines Embraer ERJ-190. I purchased this about 2 years ago. I got it as a Christmas gift from the airplane shop. This is I believe this release is from it's from like January of 2018, I believe. But I remember it was a rather recent model when I purchased it, and I gotta say, I didn't expect that Gemini jets were going to make a Copa Airlines Embraer E190. In fact, I've flown on the Copa E190 between Panama and Managua, and I liked it. And I decided when I noticed this model was out, I decided why not go and get it. I've flown on it, and it's very unique. So let's go ahead and start the review with the boxes you can see here. It's the Gemini200, the aircraft here, Embraer 190. Like I said, this aircraft is 1 to 200 scale. Is the side of the box. What's unique about Gemini200 boxes is that they are actually button boxes. As you can see, here's the sides of the box. And the back, as I told, well, actually this is a 2017 release. And as I was saying, Gemini200 boxes are very unique because they're buttons. So you'd have to open them from here, and then you'd have the model in there. And now, let's move on with the aircraft itself. And here it is. It's a very nice model. I really like it. I normally don't feature this in my airport since it's a 1 to 400 airport, but I know that it has the 1 to 200 mat on the other side of it. But I just have it on my shelf with my other models. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and showcase the aircraft itself to you. So as you can see, here in the front of the aircraft, we have the pitot tubes over here. The pitot tubes, we have the cockpit windows. Right down there is the windshield wipers. Right here, you notice the Star Alliance logo, as Copa Airlines is a member of Star Alliance. Right down here on the landing gear, you see the 4 digits in the tail number 1540, the L1 door, the Copa Airlines titles, which are very nicely printed, the passenger windows. Right here, I remember the first 5 rows were for business class. And over here, on the engines, you actually have, what's unique about the print of the engines is that they actually have the markings for ground personnel, the markings for the distances that ground personnel can be around the engine while it's running. So as you can see, here's the engine with the vortex generator, the highly detailed nacelle, and the noise reduction chevrons here. And over here on the side of the wing, you have the landing lights. You have one of the radio antennas down there. Right here you have one of the wing emergency exits. And right here in front of you is the very, very detailed winglet. Wait, let me see if I can focus. There we go. Oh, goodness. Close-ups really don't work that much. Anyways, so like I was saying, it's the very detailed winglet. As you can see, right next to here is the navigation light, the red navigation light. Moving to the back of the aircraft, you have the registration, which is Hotel Papa 1540 Charlie Mike Papa. Now this is actually the IATA code for Copa Airlines. The Panamanian flag over here. You have the rear emergency exit and also the 4 digits of the tail number. And if you notice here, close to the vertical stabilizer, you have these markings here. Now what's unique about E190s is that they actually have the markings for the degrees at which the elevator trim tilts, because I've seen this before on a Taka E190 and I noticed this with my model and I was thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. So, and right over here you have the very nice tail, the very nice Copa Airlines tail. Over here you can actually see the, I really like how Gemini just did the texture to the rudder over here. Now moving on back, you have the very detailed APU back here. And that's moving on to the back of the aircraft with the vertical stabilizer and the horizontal stabilizer, and you have these markings that are on the sides of the vertical stabilizer right here. And actually these two dots are actually the logo lights that show the tail. So now moving on to the other side. As I mentioned, the same markings of the elevator trim, the rear emergency exit, the two radio antennas on the top, the registration, the Panamanian flag, more of the cockpit windows. You have over here on this side the green navigation light on the left side. And as I mentioned, here's once again the other engine with the distance markings, the nacelle, the vortex generator, and the noise reduction chevrons. And as you can see right here, this little dot, I forgot to mention, this little dot right here is actually the wing lights, which actually light up the wings from the fuselage. So as you can see, the detailed cockpit windows, although the prints do have a bit of, like, they're a bit scuffed. This is how it came out of the box, but they're still good. Right here you have the other door, which is where catering comes in. The Starline logo, as I mentioned, the 4 digits of the registration again, and the pitot tubes on that side. And moving on to the forward side of the aircraft. Excuse me, there we go. The very detailed landing gear. In fact, you could even have, it even shows the taxi light right there. Very, very nice. Right here we have, if we can focus. Sorry, it's just that. There we go. So, you have the windshield wipers here, the cockpit windows. The printing is close up. It does seem a bit wrinkled, but I mean, it doesn't have to be that accurate. So long that, like, from a distance, it's really good. Close up, it doesn't have to be, like, entirely, because as you can see, it is a bit roughened on the sides, but it actually does look very clean. Right here you have the very nose of the aircraft, the gray underside of the Copa Airlines livery, the gold line that lines around the entire aircraft, dividing the gray side, the white side. And also what I really like, one detail that I really like about this aircraft, the engines. Engines are very, very detailed. These Rolls-Royce turbofans on the E190, they're very detailed. The engine fan blades, they unfortunately don't spin. As some Gemini200s, they do spin, but these don't. But they're still very, very accurate. Same goes for the other engine, very, very nicely detailed. As I mentioned, the landing lights right here, and on this side also, you can see landing light right there. And now to the upper side of the aircraft. You have the various radio antennas on top of here. And actually we have the beacon light here, which is actually, it's not like the 1-400s, which are like just painted on. This is an actual plastic piece right here, which is very nice. Radio antenna over here. More antennas moving towards the rear side of the aircraft. So that covers the top side. And on top of the wings, the emergency exit pathway markings, the very detailed textures to the ailerons, the leading slots, and the trailing edge flaps, And as you can see, the spoilers and the speed brakes on the sides. Same here, emergency exit markings. The forward slots, the leading slots, and the trailing edge slots, as well as the spoilers and the speed brakes. And now let's move on to the underside. So now, the underside, I really like it. Let me see if I can stand it, because I could stand it for a bit there. There we go. So now we move on to the other side of the aircraft. Which has this long stabilizer, I would say, and an antenna right here. And over here, this is the underside of the cargo door. This is a cooling vent for the APU, same here. And right here you can see the Gemini Jets logo. Right here you have the landing gear slots where the gears come up. They would go into those slots. The stand hole right here, which is made of rubber. Over here you have also another plastic beacon light. And right here, this is very unique. These are actually part of the landing lights on the underside of the aircraft. It's very, very nice. Radio antennas down here. The cargo door on the left side right there. The landing gear. The gear doors for the nose gear. Very nicely detailed. Very nicely detailed. And there, that covers the entire aircraft itself. Now, I would highly recommend this model if you're going to start collecting 1 to 200s. I would definitely recommend Gemini200. I don't normally collect 1 to 200s, but I just decided this one was definitely worth it because it was a rare model. And this model, they are definitely not cheap. This one I actually got it for about like $82 at the airplane shop at the Pan Am International Flight Academy here in Miami. Later, after the COVID-19 quarantine ends, I'm looking forward into making a video over there at the airplane shop in the Pan Am International Flight Academy here in Miami. And I do look forward to that. And at the same time, I'll also be doing some other more model reviews coming up. And expect another video possibly next week of an unboxing, because I recently ordered a NG Models National Airlines Boeing 757-200, and now this is actually that model will be my first NG model and my first 757. I found it on the Spruce Brothers. It's a website that I found, an online retailer, for $45, and yeah, I hopefully expect that to come in soon. So yeah, expect more model review videos coming up, including the National Airlines 757 unboxing. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great, doing healthy, keeping themselves safe at home.